Well, good day from Australia, and yeah, time for a little bit of tractor work. I'm fairly new at this game. Only have had it about, well, I think we're up to nearly 50 hours now, about 4 months' work, and a little bit different maybe to some of the 1025s in America. The first one is that predominantly using it for grading and for managing our gravel road, and also for doing moving of objects around our property, which is just on 2 acres, and part of that is garden and part is a paddock. Anyway, the job today is our paddock in the winter gets pretty boggy at this end. You can see we've got our compost heaps, and yeah, one of my first excursions into the mud was trying to unload compost in the middle of winter, with the front wheels getting completely bogged in and having to push myself out using the bucket, but that worked okay. And now we're going to try and fix the problem. I've been looking around at the topography in this paddock. You can see we're on a hillside, and therein lies the problem. Down the hill comes the water, and unfortunately it seems to come into this corner of the paddock where the gate is. Now, I have put some gravel in there. That's going to be improved. I did try some little hand cut drains before I got the tractor, and they worked quite well, but there was one big bog hole here, and the idea is to dig a spoon drain from the bog hole down here. That's now solid clay, and we're just going to go up to the trees you can see slightly up the hill in the middle of the paddock, and we're going to cut a spoon drain. Now, the benefit with a spoon drain, I can still do mowing. I use just a ride-on mower, and that works very well. But the beauty with a spoon drain is that you can drive the mower, or the tractor for that matter, over a spoon drain. And a couple of days ago I had my first attempt at cutting a spoon drain, and I must admit I was pretty pleased, although now after thinking about it I can probably do an even better job, and that's just using the grader blade. A few little tips and tricks, and we'll just go ahead and do the second spoon drain. Okay. Just a little bit about the Australian version of a John Deere 1025R that I bought. I'm really not interested in anything else on the front apart from the bucket, so I was very keen to have the 4-in-1 bucket. This sort of does multi-function. Yes, it's a little bit tricky to get the hang of it, but when you do, it really is a very, very useful tool. For example, you can grip hold of the top of a fence post, give it a waggle and pull it straight out the ground, concrete and all. Works really well. Moving things around in those jaws, you can drag things, pull things, pick things up, which is very good, as well as having the convenience of the bucket itself. This particular bucket arrangement was designed, I think, in conjunction with John Deere, but it's actually built in South Korea, and it's marketed in Australia by the Howard Group. It's an HA series self-leveling bucket, and I'm very, very pleased with that. It's beautifully made and very, very strong. Lots of good things about that is the actual blades are reinforced, and also the jaws, the jaw blades are reinforced, and yeah, it just works really well. Probably maybe a little bit on the heavier side, but you can compensate. And I've always got the counterbalance on the back when I'm using that to move our clayish type soil. Done quite a few jobs with it, and very impressed. As I get better, things get a bit easier, but it's all a learning game. And then on the back at the moment, I've got a small 4-foot grader, and you can see I've already moved it into this acute angle, and that works particularly well for building the spoon drain. The only thing I've got to do is to tilt it, so we tilt it downwards, and that will do the cut, because obviously we don't want to go too deep. It's sort of a shallow cut, and from experimenting on the previous drain, this worked exceptionally well. So better go and adjust it. Obviously, to adjust it down, I've got two options really with this one. We've got 3 holes. I can put one pin up and one down, but for the sake of this one, I think we'll just be adjusting here. We'll lengthen this, which will push this corner down. So I'll do that now, and yeah, we'll be nearly ready to start. One other thing that I did find in doing the spoon drain, first of all, you have to look at the topography very carefully of where the water's coming down. And back in the winter, I really did get out in the rain and watch the way the water flows down the hill. And I really just worked out that we probably will cope with most of this with 2 spoon drains basically diagonally across this end of the paddock where the main bog is. Anyway, it's very, very dry now. Predominantly a clay base with a little bit of topsoil, and there's quite a few tree roots running through this. Not a problem at all. This particular blade is really, well, it's actually made in Melbourne in Australia. Really well made by the John Berens group, and yeah, I've no complaints with this at all. It's easy to adjust, and for the scale of work I do, absolutely perfect. It's paid for itself already with doing grading in the driveway, and after one particular flood, I lost half my driveway down the road. I was able to just drag it all back with this. I have one other attachment to help me with levelling out gravel, and that's a 5-foot rake. That also works extremely well. So pretty well I'll adjust this into the fully down position. So just making sure we still got a little bit of thread visible. Okay, we've just come to that little bit where we've ended the thread. So I'll just peel that back a little bit, and that's where exactly it was when we did the other one. And now we've got the correct angle. As I say, I'm after quite a shallow cut, and the beauty of having it raked back like that is that that's going to drag all of the soil out of the ditch as we make it. Well, let's go and do it. Same old pre-check belt. It's all B's belt, and then we've got the brakes. Into gear, so B for bucket, and of course then we've got whatever's on the back. We've got to check the angle, so we'll position ourselves before we actually engage the soil. Okay, so we now put the tool down, and that'll bite in nicely. The other important thing is to keep a straight line. The best thing is not to look at the tool, but take a line of where you're going, and I'll be just going to the upside of the tree in the centre of the paddock. So we'll just do a straight line for about, well, in my language, 30 metres, about 100 feet. Okay, we're going to need a little bit of throttle, 4-wheel drive, and looking where we're going. That's how hopefully we'll get a straight line. So off we go. So now just lift up the blade, turn around and go back and do the other side. Okay, we're lined up to go back down the other side, so again in with the blade. And this time the trick is just to keep the front wheel, at least on this machine, in the cut. And off we go again. Obviously the topography and the slight undulations, you know, that takes a little bit of 2 or 3 passes to get your even cut. But anyway, we're going all right. I'm happy with the line, and I'll just continue now and open it up. Okay, well, it's past 2. Looks like the top end here we're going to have to put a little bit more into it, mainly because we're going through a bit of a mound. Anyway, we'll go back and have another cut on the other side. Well, that's now 2 cuts each side, and yeah, we've got to do a little bit more. It actually gets a little bit easier as you get in, because the front wheel tends to stay in the groove, and yeah, that means it almost automatic. Just keep moving. Well, it's now starting to look a little bit like a spoon drain. The good thing is that the blade is actually pulling all the soil onto the outside, and we'll deal with that by reversing the blade and just push it down into a big pile. Well, off we go with our 3rd pass downhill. It's past 3, and I think 1 more will do it. We might need a little bit more work at the top end, but I'm pretty happy with that. Well, now the final clear up. See, it's pulled the soil out both sides, so reverse the blade, leveled it up a bit, and we'll just go and push that into a heap by the tree at the top of the paddock, or midway up the paddock. There we are. Looks like the boss has come to supervise, so yeah, make sure we do a good job. Well, good morning, a new beautiful day in Melbourne, and yeah, we've got an absolute ripper of a day. Blue sky, and oh, just a few little bits of cumulus cloud, but that's it. But most importantly, we have a new spoon drain. So a quick rake over. Actually, I could have used the rake behind the 1025, but now it was probably quicker just to put the hand rake over it rather than switch the gadgets. It's lovely to have all the toys with these tractors, and I watch with envy in America all the toys you have for them. But I also notice you also have huge sheds to accommodate all this gear. You can see our little shed, and that's going to have to be. And I'm very happy with the 4-in-1 bucket, and I think we made a good choice. It's been able to get a little bit of versatility between the grading aspect, maintaining drives, a little bit of drainage, and also I guess the bucket has been a real bonus for moving loads of soil around the place. So now we've got the bonus of some topsoil, and that's going to be used for a project my wife's got developing one of her rockeries, and yeah, life carries on. The 1025R, it's 50 hours, and we should have bought it a lot earlier. We've been here 30 years and just got round to it, but certainly in our 70s it's enabling us to carry on and enjoy this wonderful lifestyle.